Everybody, I'm Mary Rebar. I'm the Care Services Coordinator for the Willamette Valley in beautiful Oregon. Today we are celebrating our 4-year anniversary with the University of Oregon partnership between the ALS Association and the University of Oregon. We have been working together in collaboration since August of 2016. I work with clinical professor Janine Geisler at HEDCO at the Augmentative and Alternative Communications Clinic in the College of Communication Disorders and Sciences at the University of Oregon in Eugene. Today I have joining me some wonderful people that I've been working with for this past term. We have student Isabella Carino and Jessica Johns, also a student, and we have with us today, supervising faculty Sierra Corbin, also joining us. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Sierra, do you have something you'd like to share?
Yeah, I just want to say hello. I'm the supervisor here, and we are so thankful for the collaboration with the ALS Association, and it's wonderful for individuals, and it's great for our students. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. One of the great things that has come out of COVID is before this program served the people within 50 miles of Eugene, Oregon, and the University of Oregon. With COVID and the creativity we have at University of Oregon, we've been able to open up this program to the whole state of Oregon and Southwest Washington. And it's designed so that people living with ALS can get extra help with communication or assistive technology so that things can go better for them in their communication in every day. So we've done everything from voice banking to downloading apps to problem solving with eye gaze to also helping people fill out the paperwork and apply for communication devices. So I am just so thankful for the team at the University of Oregon and how much they give back to the people living with ALS in the Willamette Valley. I'm going to turn it over now to the students to do some presenting on how do you download an app that can help you on your smartphone or tablet.
Great, thank you, Mary. I'll go ahead and share my screen with our presentation on it. So like she said, we're going to be talking about how to download communication apps onto your phone or tablet. And we'll go over, depending on what type of device you have, whether it's Apple or Android or Amazon Kindle, what kind of apps are available to you. So as Mary said, we're graduate students in the Communication Disorders and Sciences program at the University of Oregon in Eugene. We are working to work in the future with people across the lifespan to help them with communication and swallowing, and currently in a specialty clinic learning more about alternative and augmentative communication, which includes things like text-to-speech apps, speech generating devices, things like that. So what is AAC, as we like to call it? It's any tool that supports communication. So this can be low tech, something like a gesture, like a thumbs up, a wave, writing on pen and paper, all the way up to a high technology device, which is a speech generating device, where you can pre-program messages and do all that. And it even goes all the way up to eye gaze devices as well. So today we're kind of focusing on communication apps that you would use on a phone or tablet. So some advantages to using communication apps is that you can clarify your wants and needs and have them met. You can stay connected and communicate with friends, colleagues, coworkers. You can have a role in discussing important issues such as doctor's visits, speak with your family, and you can also maintain a sense of humor. So communication apps, what we'll be talking about today, are for people who can still use their hands well. So we are talking about kind of the apps that you can download on your device that you already have, not the speech generating devices with eye gaze, which you would work with an SLP to obtain. So like I said, it can be useful for alerting other people what you need. You can use it to communicate with communication partners. And in addition to using one of these high-tech applications on your phone or tablet, you can also have a backup option such as pen and paper or typing a message out on your phone, things like that. So yeah, just a few reasons there why it's useful. Does anyone have any questions before we get started going over these specific apps? Kind of wait for them to come in if there are any.
Okay. I don't see any quite yet. I've just checked a couple of places. So I think that was a great overview, Jessica, of what SLPs and AAC, because yes, we get into this alphabet soup of all these different names that people have to get used to when they start working with medical providers. So speech language pathologists are the ones who will help problem solve, as she said, to help with the basic low tech, and also can help you apply and receive a high tech communication device or computerized communication device, including eye gaze. Right.
And feel free to interrupt us at any point, Mary, if there's a question that is pertaining to what we're talking about, so we can answer it while we're on topic as well.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so mostly what we'll be covering is low cost options. So they're either free or the ones that are available kind of as basic just text to speech options are $15 or below. And then we'll talk about some more complete communication systems that you could transfer with you to a speech generating device in the future as well. So yeah, we'll be talking about text-to-speech applications first that allow you to type out your messages, and then the phone or tablet then voices those messages. And you can store high-frequency phrases so that you don't have to type them out each time usually. So we want you to go ahead and think about and check out what device you have that you'll be using for this. So whether that is an Apple iPhone, a Android phone, an Apple iPad, an Android tablet, or a Kindle Fire, just because when we go over our different options, they're either going to be compatible for one of those three: Apple, Android, or Amazon products, probably. Okay, so our very first application that we'll be going over is called Talk For Me. And once I explain this, Isabella is going to share her iPad and show you how you can go to the App Store and download this app. But this is our suggestion for Apple users, both on an iPhone or an iPad. It has an option of 4 different voices, and then you can go into your settings on your tablet and actually choose even more options of voices. So it has a lot of great free options for that. You can also store phrases, as you can see kind of on the bottom half of that screenshot. You can store certain phrases that are high frequency, and it's ad-free. So I'll go ahead and swap screens with Isabella.
Great. And I'm going to share my screen now from my iPad. It'll take just a second and we'll get to see what this app is like. So here's the app. First, I can show you where the App Store is, or what that looks like. It'll be this blue button here where it says App Store, and then you can type in the app name, Talk For Me, and you can search for it. Looks like it's not loading right now, but oh, there it goes. So you can type in this little box here, Talk For Me, and then it'll pop up, and this is where you'll download the app. So I'll open it back up. And so this app is really nice. It has custom buttons where you can customize the phrases that you want. For here, custom 1, I press and hold the button and I can customize the button name. So this will say, my name is Isabella. So I'm going to title it name and I'll save it. And then if I press it,
My name is Isabella.
it'll say, my name is Isabella. I can also tap at the top where the white box is and type anything. So I'll just say type and it will say it.
Type.
And you can also change the voices on this app. There's tons here, as you can see. We have a female voice, and I can type anything. I'll type iPad.
iPad.
And it'll say it. And there's tons of buttons that you can customize. There's up to 14 here. And that's about it for this app.
That's amazing for free. You can try that, download it, try it, get comfortable with it, customize it to your own phrases. That's a great resource.
Yeah, it's definitely one of our favorites, as I think it has a lot of really great features, especially for being free. Okay, so our next one is titled, or it's called Speech Assistant AAC. This one's available both on Apple and Android devices. It's free on Android devices. It costs $15 on Apple. We don't necessarily suggest it for Apple because we think, like the last one, there's a great free option available. However, it's still there if you would like it. It is our suggestion for Android users, just based on kind of, you can see the screen on this iPad and iPhone it has as a display here. It just looks very user-friendly, easy to use, and it has a lot of pre-programmed phrases already in there that you can use to start off your sentence and then finish it by typing. And you can also adjust the size of the buttons to fit more or less on a page, and the size of the text for reading, all that. Our next one is called ClaroCom. It's free on both Apple and Android devices, and there is a paid version that upgrades the software to better quality voice options and an ability to add categories that you can organize your phrases into. Although the free version is pretty good because it still has that phrase storage, a few category options, and word prediction when you're typing. Although a lot of tablets built into their keyboard have phrase and word prediction, so nothing too new there if you do like that feature. Another option we have is Speak For Me. This one is free on Apple and Android devices, and it's very basic in its features, but it also makes it really simple to use because there aren't a lot of options or choices in your way. You can just type what you like on this main screen, and then on the bottom it gives you options to create sentences. It has phrase storage and a lot of different voice options with multiple languages, and it is a 99-cent upgrade for ad-free. So it's not a huge cost if you would like it to be free.
That's great.
All right, another one, this one is just for Apple devices. It's called Your Voice. It's free and has ads, but it has phrase storage, again, lots of voice options, and the ability to type in whatever you would like and have it speak it. A lot of these applications, there's a ton on the app stores. And so it's really about trying out what's best for you. You can download a free app, try it out, and then delete it if you don't like it. So that's kind of why we're giving you a lot of options, but also giving you our recommendations as well. And then, so this one is called Chatterboard's AAC. It's only on Apple devices as well. This is a little bit more complex than on just our text-to-speech applications that we've been looking at. It includes symbol boards, which Isabella can show you in a minute. So you can create sentences with symbols or have pre-programmed messages or do the text-to-speech feature. It is a good app to use if you're waiting for a more high cost software or device, like a speech generating device, just because it might get you used to navigating those kinds of menus. Another really awesome feature for this app is it lets you record buttons. So you could have yourself, if you are a speech user or a family member, actually record the voice into the device, so it's not a computerized voice. So I'll go ahead and switch with Isabella so she can show you.
So I'll show you Chatterboard. There we go. So this is the default page, and we have 4 different categories here. We have I am feeling, I want to, response yes and no, and core vocabulary. So the response yes and no, we'll start there, is really simple. It's just 2 buttons, yes or no.
Yes.
So you can hear yes or
No.
no. And then in the I am feeling, I have an example of recording my own voice with celebrate. So I recorded myself saying celebrate, and it shows through the app, and you can do that at home with your voice or a family member's voice. And then in the I want to folder, I have different options. I can say I want to
watch TV.
So there's not many options on this page, but they're pretty broad options that you can use every day. And then in the core vocab sample page, here we have a page that you might see on a more robust app that you will pay for. We have on the left, we have subjects in yellow. And so this is how we can build a sentence from left to right, starting with I. And then in green, we have our verbs, which will come next in a sentence. So I can say I want the same, or something along those lines of something in an activity. For example, if you're eating, I want the same thing. You can say different sentences with these buttons, and you can build whatever you would like to say. And at the bottom here, we have
food,
different categories, and here's the food board. If we go back, there are people at the bottom too, activities, feelings. So I can build another sentence.
I want food, chicken.
So you can build a sentence. Super easy. And also with this app, we have a keyboard. And with a keyboard, we can say a lot more things. We can type out unique things that might come up that are relevant for you. And that's about it for this app.
Thanks, Isabella. So yeah, that one is very nice because you can customize it in a lot of ways, a lot of different menu options. Yeah. So these are our suggestions for people who are Amazon Kindle users. Amazon has a separate app store from Android or Apple. So these are the applications that are available there. This is our free suggestion, text to speech. So you can type a message and then it will voice it. There's a few different voice options as far as, and also accents as well. This one does not have any phrase storage, unfortunately. So it's just going to be typing unique messages in. Another suggestion for Amazon Kindle users is an app called Assistive Speech. So this one costs $2. It has text to speech as well as you can see on the right-hand side, some pre-programmed phrases, symbols, and voice options as well. So a little bit more complicated than our first Amazon option. And again, like I said, lots of different applications in app stores across every device. Feel free to explore the free ones and then delete them if you don't like them. This is a good place to start though as well. Okay, so these apps are going to be our more complex, complete communication apps, much further than just text to speech. So SnapCore first is a software that can be used on a tablet as well as then transferred to a speech generating device. So an advantage to working on this program is you can personalize devices for yourself and include categories. You can include a topic page with all your family members, things like that. Tie it to an account, and then if you were to transfer from a touch tablet to an eye gaze speech generating device, you could transfer over those personalizations to that device. You can do a free download on iPad or Windows computer to trial it without speech. And there's also a full version free trial for 60 days through Tobii Dynavox, which is the company that created this app and also sells speech generating devices. The full version for this app is $49.99. Definitely pricier than our other options. However, it is the cheapest kind of complete communication app that is available. And here's an example of the topics menu page. Isabella will also share kind of using this on her device, but like I said, at the very top, you have blank topics. So you could personalize one for your family members. You can even use your tablet to take a picture with your camera or upload an already taken picture of a family member, a dog, a place like a favorite restaurant, and add that in there. So it is very personalized to you. And yeah, I will go ahead and swap with Isabella so she can show you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so I will share SnapCore on my iPad. Here's what it looks like. So like the other apps, it has a QWERTY board, a keyboard that you can type whatever you want and it'll say it. And then there's also the core word that we saw on the last app, where there's a lot of different
I want
words to create a different sentence. And there's different word lists where you can find different topics.
apple.
I want an apple. And then also there are quick fires where you can quickly say yes
Yes.
or no,
No.
or say,
Hi. My name is Isabella.
so it's super quick, super easy once you get the hang of it. It does take a little bit of training to get used to speaking with a device, but once you get the hang of it, it gets pretty easy. And in the topics area, we have an abundance of topics.
Oh my goodness.
And at the top, like Jessica had mentioned, you can customize your topics. So in topic 1, I have dogs and a picture of my dog and his name. So
Klaus.
like Jessica said earlier, you can upload your own picture and use that as the button. And then also with this app, you can change how many buttons you see on each page. So if you go into page set and grid size, you have an abundance of options for how many buttons you can see at a time. So you can go smaller or have more bigger buttons on the page.
Great. Okay, so our last
Resource to be able to build and utilize. Probably not what someone would start with first, but downloading a free one, trying it out, figuring out how to use it. There are the times where people need to have something on their phone. Example, you walk into a coffee shop and the person across the counter can't hear you. you can type everything in. I want a, fat-free vanilla latte, a skinny vanilla latte, and be able to push it, and they can either read it or hear it. And that's, it's in large groups where first people can't understand someone with ALS. So, downloading the phone is the first step, but boy, having this SnapCore available where you can personalize it ahead of time and then download it into a communication device, fantastic option. I want to point out that this could be paid for through our chapter grant. So that chapter grant that we offer every 6 months, this would be something that we could reimburse for, the SnapCore for $50.
Thank you. Yeah, on both the phone apps and a tablet app, you can pre-program phrases. Like if you have a specific coffee order you always get, have a phrase or a button that already says that, and it will definitely make it a little bit easier to communicate. Real quick,
Okay.
Another option.
We do have some questions that came in.
Oh, perfect.
Which app would you suggest for those people who are losing hand strength or dexterity? Do any of these apps have bigger buttons?
Yes.
Go ahead, Isabella.
So for the SnapCore, we saw that we can adjust the button size. We can get bigger buttons, but there will be fewer buttons on the page. We do want to note that getting one of these apps that we're going to talk about, and including SnapCore, these apps can be transferred to a speech generating device, which can include eye gaze, which will be very useful in the future.
The other question we got, are there any apps better for bilingual people?
Also with SnapCore, there are different languages. So with the text apps, you can text whatever you want using the QWERTY board. You can customize the QWERTY board to whatever language you want depending on your phone. But then with the SnapCore, there are different voices for different languages, and there are different keyboards for different languages and different topics. So
Fantastic.
Jessica, if you want to let me share my screen again, I can show the Spanish version because I do have that on my iPad.
Additionally, of the phone apps we talked about, the one that was called Speak For Me has a really good list of languages available for it. So that's definitely a good, if you're looking for a more simple phone app, that one is good as well.
And that one was free, so great place to start.
Yes.
So with the SnapCore, for my Spanish board, you'll see in the top right corner a button that says Spanish. If I click that, it becomes all in Spanish, and you can customize it in different languages. So I can say,
Sí. Hola. Mi nombre es Isabella.
and you can also notice that the voice is pretty authentic for using the different sounds in Spanish as well. And there are different voices that you can pick from in different languages. So right now I have Ines in Spanish, and there are different voices available. So we have different countries listed here that you can also purchase, but there will be some for download as well.
Great. That is so wonderful to see. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so just our very last few app suggestions here. The rest of these are going to be the more complete communication apps, just so they're on your radar if you do want to use them on a tablet or a speech generating device. So another one similar to the level of SnapCore is called TouchChat. This one goes on a different brand device than the SnapCore one. It goes on a Saltillo device. Again, complete app with symbols and a keyboard, pre-programmed phrases. You can add your own pictures, record voices, those kind of things. The full board version is $299.99. So like I said, SnapCore is pretty much the cheapest one available. This one is a little bit more, but it's pretty similar in capabilities. And then here is the touch chat word power. It just is organized in a way that allows users to create a sentence from left to right. So on the left in yellow, there are subject words, and then verbs in green, and other words on the right-hand side. So this can be used on the application.
Yeah, and you'll notice that this is similar to one of the free apps that we discussed earlier, Chatterboard. It's set up similarly in that you start from left to right to create a sentence.
Yes. Lastly, we have Grid 3. This is compatible with iPads or a speech generating device. So it can be edited from a computer. It's available in 15 different languages and lots of voice options, recordings of your own voice or a family member or caregiver's voice, as well as eye gaze access if upgraded through a speech generating device. There is a 60-day free trial, as well as a month-to-month option, subscription option of $9.99 a month instead of purchasing the whole program. So this is what it looks like. Again, similar setup with the symbols from left to right to form a sentence, and a keyboard, pretty similar features as SnapCore. And that is all we have. Are there any other questions?
We'll just have to see if any come in. I have to tell you, I took a whole page of notes on these different apps that are available. I love the fact that you can download one, have it on your phone, use it for those times where people can't understand someone clearly, and then look at how that works for you, how you can best utilize it, and then look at some of the ones that cost money for the future. If someone voice banks, so that's where they record their voice to be able to utilize it in a speech generating device, does SnapCore work with downloading a recorded voice in voice banking?
Yes, I believe so. Any of the speech generating device capable applications, it would involve like uploading a voice to the software. So yes.
Okay.
Typically when people use voice banking companies, they are then provided kind of a file that has like their voice and the variability in it on it, and then it can be used with any speech generating device application.
Great. Isabella, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I think Jessica's covered it. You have a lot of options with different voices on the communication apps, but if you want to use your own voice, you're able to link it up to those apps, and we recommend that you save the file of the phrase as the phrase that you're saying so that you can easily hook it up to the button. So you're not messing around and trying to listen for hours to figure out which message you're trying to put in.
Perfect. Great. We have a question here from D. He asks, are there any apps that have predictive text?
Yes.
So the predictive text feature is usually a setting within the actual device the person is using. So if it's an Apple iPhone or iPad, within the settings on the device is where you would turn on the predictive text. Similar with Android or Amazon Fire. So any apps will bring up that keyboard that your device uses that has a predictive text if you have it turned on, as well as like Isabella was showing in SnapCore, along the top of the keyboard, it has some predictive text suggestions as well.
Great. Good question. I appreciate that coming in, and I appreciate you tuning in with us today. Dustin. Any other questions? Okay, just looking through here, seeing if anything else comes in. After the two of you played around with these apps, is there one that you kind of lean towards or feel more comfortable with after playing around with all these different options?
Yeah, for the freer apps or the lower cost apps, I like the Chatterboard text app, the one that has words that you can go from left to right to build your sentences. I feel that app I can easily communicate what I want because of the different options available, and I can build sentences. And as for the higher cost, I really like SnapCore because that is also laid out very nicely with different categories, and it's very easy to create a sentence with what I want, and you can also customize it too.
And that one has all the languages. I remember you showing us that. That is really great. How about you, Jessica? Do you have one after looking through these different apps that you really find easy to use?
Yeah, I definitely think the first one we talked about, which was Talk For Me, was just the most easy to use. I think even when I first downloaded it, it had kind of a tutorial that it took me through, which was helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a very simple screen, but still has a lot of capabilities for voices and storing phrases. So I think as far as a beginning app to download that's free, I think it's a really good one.
Great. Well, I just want to, we don't have any more questions. For those folks who are watching us live stream right now, please feel free to email me if you have questions coming up. Of course, your care services coordinator can also help you with questions and have them connect to me so we can get to the U of O program. I would like to thank today Jessica and Isabella for presenting this fantastic information. As I said, I took a whole page of notes. I will be passing this along, and this will be recorded and up on our YouTube at the ALS Association of Oregon and Southwest Washington. Because if you're like me, in maybe 3 months, you might have to come back and visit this to remember which app you like the best. So again, I'd like to thank Jessica Johns and Isabella Carino from the University of Oregon, speech language students at the University of Oregon who work with our partnership program. Thank you both for this informative talk today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for having us.